Hi Divine Rebels, it's Bohemia with Bohemian Stars and Ocean Heart Readings, and we are here for a goddess reading. So we have 4 options here. Oh, sorry. I laid them back because of the glare and the shadows. I can't really get them like forward facing like this that well, so we're just gonna do it like this real quickly. I'm sorry. Okay. So we have Kuan Yin for number 1. We have this skull that is for Santa Muerte. For me, sugar skull here. We have for number 2. For 3 we have Lady Guadeloupe, and for 4 we have Auset, aka Isis. So those are our options. You can have different questions for the goddesses. However you want to do this reading, you could pick multiple options. These are your current divine messages when you see this video and as it resonates for you, okay? We have a lot of decks that we're going to be using that are goddess themed. They'll be linked down below, and any other information or things that come up, that everything's always linked down there. And also I wanted to add, people ask about giving tips and donations to Baby Magic, my daughter. If you're new to the channel, we call her Baby Magic or Sesame, or aka Witchy Baby, and she's a Capricorn. She's 15 months old at this time of recording, and she's been getting tips since she was in my womb. I guess Capricorns just got it like that, right? It's always earth signs too that tip her. So if you want to, you know, she does contribute to the readings. If you watch, she'll give you guys cards and witch runes. So some people ask about that. You can absolutely, if you do a donation or tip that goes to her, just put Witchy Baby, Baby Magic, Sesame in the notes, and that goes to her funds as her little baby Capricorn self, and that's for her, okay? So I just wanted to say that because I keep forgetting to mention it. But thank you for all of your support and love for the channel, and I'm gonna go ahead and get right into these readings for you. All right, so we'll go with number 1. Let me set Big Gorgeous over here. That's what they call me. No, I'm just kidding. Big Gorgeous. Okay, let's see what we got for number 1. Those of you who just chose Kuan Yin, we have Babo, which is laughter. We have Baba Yaga, wild woman. We have the Chariot, Justice reversed, the Death card, Knight of Cups, the 4 of Cups, and Rhiannon, or Rhiannon. So this, okay, this has a little saucy a little saucy message with it, because you got the wild woman energy here and some like body laughter and all this kind of energy here. So you guys have to be more free with yourself, more dynamic, because you have the sorceress energy here. You are a magical person who can manifest your clear intentions into reality, and none of these ladies want to sacrifice their freedom. These two, Baba Yaga is actually how it's pronounced, I think it said in the book, and Rhiannon, they can be labeled false images and stuff like that, and be villainized. And you know, people say that, oh well, she was turned into like the witch who eats children in the forest, and she was said to have done something to harm her son, and all of these misconceptions. And so it is about you guys getting over that fear of people not liking you, or of like basically getting some self-respect and leveling up in that way. Because here I can see that the biggest message they're really honing in on is about accepting lovers who are not up to your standards, and accepting conditions and relationships that are bullshit. Basically, they're like, cut that shit out, cut them out before we have to do it for you, okay? They're like, you're supposed to be supported and forward moving, having a good time. And these people, they're either negative karmic energy connections, or they're not even in the contract and you're just thinking they're a soulmate because they're so dreamy or something. But I see some of you who are, you know, I almost feel like you're wasting away if you've been in a unfulfilled marriage for a long time. You don't have the opportunities that you wanted to grow and develop and connect in that relationship, and it's just something that's been a long time coming. I feel like she just wants to like whip around and trip him up as he's coming in, because they're like, wrong answer, you're not the one, okay? We have laughter here though, so it's like don't take things so seriously though. Even though these are very serious goddesses, like she, will do a joke. Wild woman, Baba Yaga, she will do a joke and a cackle and a heartbeat and just like, again, that kind of eccentric way of being where it's like, look, I am who I am. I'm doing what I'm doing, right? And we have Balbo here, which actually in the court of the gods during all the stress about trying to find Persephone, lifted up her skirt in front of all these gods and just like risked embarrassment to get a laugh. And it's very similar to is it Uso who do that for Amaterasu in Japanese the Japanese pantheon. So yeah, it's like take yourself more seriously when it comes to respect and take yourself less seriously when feeling like, oh, I'm gonna end up old and alone. And first of all, they're like, okay, so you don't want to be around yourself when you're old? What's wrong with that? Why don't you accept yourself on every level? Why don't you accept all the different parts of yourself when you're laughing all stank face, like all ugly face, when you are, very like pulled together and you're on top of things and you're riding your own white horse and your unicorn. They're like, you have to accept all that, all your different sides, and you need to get rid of anybody who doesn't, or people who don't come to you correctly, or people who can't. It's like we can all have different sides to ourselves, but we still have to be decent with each of those sides. So if you are accepting somebody because you're like, well, they're nice, they're really sweet, in this phase, and then they just have this other side that's crazy and like, beats me up and is mean to me. This is like, no, we can have all of our random wild sides, but they need to all be legit. They need to all be respectful. They need to all be, they can be different like personality aspects, but they still have to be a good person in each of those phases. Does that make sense? Yeah, so you're really supposed to, it cut off. I was just like talking. It's really, you guys are really supposed to release the, like toxic connections and deluding yourself romantically and professing that somebody you don't even know is like this connection and like obsessing about it and fixating on it. And I had to turn this up right, but it was reversed. So it's like you're missing out on the contracts and partnerships you should be doing because you're sitting here like trying to spy on other people, and a lot of that's through the screen, through social media, through YouTube pick a cards and things. And they're like, cut it off. Like it's just time. Like it's done. Stop finding reasons to obsess and stay stuck on things that are not for you or that aren't coming for you. And it's like basically you either need to go and get what you're saying that you want so much, or you need to leave it alone. Because a lot of the things that you're focusing on right now, like it's off track. It's off track or it's incorrect. And a lot of this is talking about creating negative karma with relationship partners that shouldn't be, they shouldn't be the one, like they're not the one. So there's some tough love coming down, but they're not playing. They're like, we're not doing that. We're not sitting here stuck on somebody. We're not sitting here waiting for a call. Like, what's going on? You have power moves to make. You have success to be gaining. You have so much to be doing in your life and developing yourself and experiencing and living. And you're sitting here waiting for somebody who has already chosen with their free will to go and be in the life that they're in, or consistently getting yourself into these patterns of relationships with people who don't give enough to you, so you can stay focused on fixing them and in that mess and in recovery versus really promoting your own spiritual growth, your own growth in your own life. So they're like, all this energy and tools that you're spending focusing and obsessing for hours and hours about this person, they're like, first of all, their guys don't even like that. Like it's like they're needing to cut cords and get that energy off. And I've seen this a lot, and I've talked about it before, but like on all these like twin flame soulmate videos and stuff, there will be people who just have like the nastiest energy, or even just very deluded, and they'll be so focused on the other person, and I can just feel like it turns into like a negative juju that you're sending that person when you're like cursing their life and their decisions to be with someone else, and like speaking bad on their children, and like it gets nasty. Like it gets obsessive and like toxic and ownership. And a lot of people, they wouldn't do magic on someone like that, but they'll do it spiritually. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So like that really needs to die down. And even if this is your partner, your spouse, they're like, you can't spiritually control and own them. Like either like even for those, like they're not saying don't do magic or workings or whatever, but they're like at this point it's getting crazy. Like it's getting obsessive. You're focusing and nitpicking on others. It could be some Cancers and Virgos here, Scorpios and Libras, where it's like you're focusing and fixating on others so much because you don't want to work on you and you don't want to look at you. So in some dynamic, that's a thing right here. So they're like, okay, we're addressing it. Let's fix the shit. It's been a long time coming. You need to let go of these connections. Let's see. Sorry, I was getting a notification from Natalie Hughes. Holla, shout out if you're watching. Go check out her channel. She's amazing, phenomenal woman, love her. Okay. So yeah, it's like ding. I hear it's like literally for whom the bell tolls. Okay, now those of you who have been obsessing, like, okay, here's this weird thing, and some of y'all again could be water signs like Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, because you might be sitting waiting for those who did you wrong to like almost for their permission in a way, or the cosmic sign that okay, now you can move on and be successful. Like maybe someone else burnt you, and so you sit there thinking about it so much it exhausts you, and you feel like, oh no, look at them, they're over there thriving, oh no, look at them over there successful. Well, I must be in the wrong then. The universe must not care about me. I must not gonna be successful because they're being successful and they're the most awful person in the world. So, and you guys are like, it's like this weird thing that humans do, right? And so they're like, wait, if you don't come over here and get your success, like if you don't come, you're stopping you. You're stopping you at this point, and the people that you choose to associate with is what's going on. They're like, so stop saying that you're stuck with these people and that you have to be in this torment and all of this. No, you don't. They're like, no, you don't. Cut the contract. Burn it up. Get out of the contract. So this is your they're like, basically there's no excuse for being in bad entanglements right now. There's no reason to be delayed in your life anymore. They're like, okay, here's your freedom card. Here's the word you need to hear. All right, they're like, right, rewild yourself, take life a little bit, you know, with more levity and joy, where you let yourself be joyful, please, and move forward with success. And they're like, don't let excuses, like I'm seeing some people here that are like, well, you know, I live with this person, or oh well, they need to use my car, or I need to use their car. They're like, no, we don't want to hear any more dependency excuses. You need to work on your stuff. You need to get your stability now. Done. Do it. This is just how the message is coming out. Very abrupt. Very, come on now. Right? Tough love. Chop, chop. Let's go. Right? Let's go. So this is basically you getting the medicine and the wisdom of like a CEO. Like, right? The crone, the wild woman crone is coming down and saying, look here, I'm going to spit some knowledge, but you better listen. Okay, so that's your message. I hope that resonated with you, and I'm just feeling like, okay, that's enough there. It was intense, short, to the point. And so just remember, it's all love, and it's to help edify your life and get you the things you want in the long run. Okay, so let me know how you feel down in the comments, and we'll hug it out. Okay, and I'll talk to you soon. We'll move on to number 2. Thank you, Kuan Yin. Set her over here. All right, for number 2, those of you that chose Lady Lovely, Miss Gorgeous over here. What did I call her? Big Gorgeous? Let's see what you got. We have, oh my goodness, I think it's so funny when that happens, when like it didn't come in the one, you know what I mean. Kuan Yin is showing up in this one, even though she was the choice for option number 1. Queen of Swords. We have Ace of Cups reversed. Oh, child. 6 of Cups. Oh, child, literally. 9 of Swords reversed. King of Pentacles. Hecate, or Hecate, or Hecate. I said it the same way. Artemis, selfhood. Y'all know I do these videos at like 3 o'clock in the morning when the baby's finally sleeping and the dog isn't acting crazy and all these things. So I'll just be a little loopy sometimes, and that's all right though. That's all right. It's a good time to channel, right? Morgan Le Fay. So some of you might have picked her. What reading was it? The fairy? Was it the fairy reading, I think? So if you haven't checked out the fairy reading, go ahead and do so. She is connected to the Fae, as her name suggests. And then we had Butterfly Maiden. So a lot of winged energy here. So what is going on? You guys had a lot of goddesses that wanted to come through from the stack too. So what we have here, get a little full shot for you before I start moving in. All right, I definitely see that they are talking about bringing more love and compassion in for yourself and others in your life. So right now, it's like basically you're at a crossroads and you've needed the Queen of Swords, I think. You've been through some tough stuff and you didn't know how to process it all or handle it all. So you had to do what you had to do, and you had to learn to harden up and toughen up, Buttercup. And at this point, though, they're like, okay, now you can either go back to learning and remembering how to hold more love and more and I'm talking about active love, not just that, you know, trendy stuff of like the people who are saying they're empaths, but they're like also espousing why they don't have to care for anybody or the world while they're claiming that they're so feeling, like not that kind of stuff, right? That's what they want to make sure that you don't go into. So they're like, you have so much love, you have like this deep cavern that could fill up with this whole well of love. But right now you really are at a crossroads of deciding, are you going to open back up and reclaim that part of yourself and be more actively loving and compassionate, or are you just going to let yourself really dry up and be very bitter to the bone? And you know, it's almost like you're coming to a point where if you don't decide to open up, it's like that door's closing and it's just gonna rust shut. So they're like, you're not going to lose yourself. You have wisdom now, and that's the difference. I think in the past, you know, you've been very betrayed and hurt. There could have been times where you felt like you weren't, you know, on your toes or didn't have enough street smarts or wisdom to protect other loved ones, maybe children, cousins, siblings, your own kids, or be protected yourself as a child. And so it's like, you know, I need to stay on guard. I need to stay on guard. You know, I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. And it can get even into paranoia and stress. And you just don't want anybody to take you for a ride. You know what I mean? Like you try to stay ready. And they're like, okay, but you're different now. Like you're not caterpillar. Yeah, when you were a caterpillar, you had to worry about people stepping on you. But you're a butterfly now. You got wings. All right. So they're like, you got a bow and arrow and you're able to defend the sacred. You're able to defend yourself. So you have to make a decision, you know, and find a different rhythm. Find a different rhythm. You embrace all of your sides, yes, but you can't go too far, or they don't want you to go too far into just one energy mode, right? And that's what they're trying to help right now, is for you to find balance with your wisdom and with your love, with the part of you that like has that hard knock knowledge, man, that you learned the hard way, for real. And that part of you that was so innocent and compassionate, and maybe you feel like, well, that's the part that got me in trouble in the first place, you know. So we have Butterfly Maiden. You are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. We have Kuan Yin. Now, do you notice she's on a dragon? People forget that Kuan Yin has many aspects. She even has a male form of herself. She has dragon aspects, water aspects. I had a friend who really studied in the higher I don't think it's called schools, but you know, in the higher mysteries of all of that, and was able to educate me on a lot with Kuan Yin. And so yeah, definitely look into that if that is, you know, if she's calling and speaking with you. But here we definitely have that feeling of you initiating yourself into a new phase of life. They're like, okay, you can stick with that message that you're just going to be, you know, bitter because you're 30, bitter because you're 45, bitter because you're 55 or whatever. You can take on and try to find these labels that make you feel good about, you know, okay, well, I'm just a bad bitch, you know. So it's like you're trying to find a way to make these labels to make it feel okay. But the thing is, they're talking to you because inside you don't feel good with where you're at right now, and that's the point. They're not saying that it's wrong to go and, you know, to curse around or to be tough or to be sharp. They're not saying that. They're saying right now we're looking at you and you're not happy. And so like how we're trying to help you get happy, get this Ace of Cups upright. Some of you are really defining yourself by your exes, by divorces, and you know, you're really focused on the past and obsessed with the past. And you know, it's like it started off as wise because you were taking care of yourself. Maybe you had to clean up your reputation, you had to shut down some stuff that was false, you had to protect your children maybe. And you know, it takes a while to get out of, but now they're like, okay, at this point it's time to go forward, and it's time to let all that stuff be behind you and just, or erased, you know. And they're like, it's been a hard road. Like, don't you think that you deserve to take off your armor and come out the cold? Like, don't you think so? After all this time? And so they're like, selfhood, You know, she has a bare breast, and that's very significant. You know, it helps her to shoot her aim, they say, when they show women like that with only like stuff on one side, so that they're but at the same time, it's like has symbolism, that significance about being open-hearted, right? Still, you know, that could be seen as very vulnerable, but she's like, it's not vulnerable, because if I need to handle something, I can, and I have other things to focus on, right? Selfhood. So she's very forward focusing, and if something comes to her, then she can address it. So you're protected. You have you know, your own. I feel like a lot of it's yourself, like your psyche sense and everything is, it's more than an overdrive. So you don't have to worry that you're going to get caught up in the same way. So you can have compassion. Some of you have that thing where you go through something and then you're mean to other people who go through it, like, because you're like, oh, these young people, they're just stupid, of course you got your heart broken, da, 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 da. So some of you are very bitter and cynical, and so it's talking, I mean, the goddesses are coming down tonight, they're being, you know, but you know, it's just love, it's tough love. And so they're saying like, could you be more compassionate, because you went through those things, you know, you don't have to be angry at them. You know, some of you might be like, you can't watch anything that has love, you hate that, you don't talk, you're mad as hell that it's coming up in this reading right now, you're not trying to hear that. Others of you, it's more kind of almost like a locked in feeling with your love and emotions. You have so much and you just don't know how to get it out, and you're like, seriously, I'm trying, like, I don't, there's a disconnect, I don't know how, like, I'm trying so hard to connect, but then, you know, because of these inner worries and anxieties and your mind getting the best of you, it's like it just sends this kind of discordant energy all throughout. Some of you have Gemini and Cancer, or like Aquarius and water sign, like Aquarius and Scorpio, so there's a lot of air and water here. And just trying to figure out the head or the heart, the head or the heart, and just overdoing it, you know, holding everything in until you explode all over somebody, and you're like, I have to stay alone, because if not, I'm codependent and I'm messy. So it's like, no, whew, breathe, let it be an equal exchange with others. Just put out, you know, that flower, and let's see how other people react, and don't let it define your entire reputation. Don't let it define everything and who you are, but also don't have to be cursing them out and like, well, I don't fucking care if they're, no, they're like, just be love, just have it out there. And very Kuan Yin's so good with that. She's very compassionate. She even chose not to ascend as high as she could, just so she could stay, like, until she can find a way to have more peace and love and safety for everyone on earth. So she's totally badass, you know, and really understands the human struggle. And she's like here on her dragon, right? If someone came, she could throw down. But she's sitting here with her lotus blossom because she's grown in love. She's grown in what she's able to put out. She knows her boundaries, and so that's the thing, just learning some boundaries. And you know, there's this one quote, it said, when I realize that I'm oversharing, I simply ask myself, why am I talking? That's it. Simply ask. It doesn't berate yourself more. And so it's kind of just training your mind to have a different type of awareness, training your mind to have different kinds of checkpoints, not for critical, not for beating yourself up, not for taking yourself or anyone down, but just like, oh, wait, do I feel good about this? No, I'm not. Okay, you know, and kind of walking yourself through it. But also not letting your emotions rule you to the point that like, well, I don't feel good right now, so screw this all. I can't handle this. I'm not going to be here. So it's going to be a path, right? But they're like, let it be a path in the warmth, you know, and with positive feeling and knowing that you've transformed and you're different. Some of you, you're different and people want to react to you differently. Like if you meet people that you haven't seen, they're like, wow, you're so much different, but then you still react the same way. You know what I mean? Some of you still have like high school mentality or college mentality when it comes to social dynamics and things like that. And so, and ironically, you might hate that and like hate people that have that mentality, but yet when you get close in personal relationships, you go into those modes, right? Or you start repeating the patterns of how you were in past relationships, and then you're like, oh my God, it's happening again. Fuck love. Like, oh, I'm not doing this, right? So they're like, be patient with yourself. You go and it's a journey, see it as a journey, but start opening up, right? And start being more inwardly compassionate with yourself, but also really promoting yourself to get out there a little bit more and actively show your love and care, but not being dependent on somebody else's reaction to it, okay? See it as an investment. Like, okay, I'm gonna put this out there, and one day, you know, I'm gonna have be at the place I want emotionally, and I want to feel the way I want emotionally, because this isn't saying presto changeo, all of a sudden boom, we're not depressed, boom, we don't have, you know, mental health concerns, boom, we feel so self-loving all of a sudden. No, this is real. This is very realistic. It's just encouragement to, you know, start that path, find something. It's almost like your daily what are they, challenge, but in a good way, like a Instagram challenge, you know. Okay, what way can I actively show that I love or care about something or someone else in the world that's not just bypassing? So if you're someone who can be nice to animals but you're mean to humans, it doesn't count if you do it to your animal, because you already do that, right? It has to be outside your comfort zone just a little bit. Maybe you hold a door open for a stranger when usually you slam that shit because behind you, because you don't want to deal with them, right? You hold the elevator button. Oh child. It's like, look, and I'm seeing the buttons. Oh my gosh, some of you don't hold the elevator. What? You those people? So just start with small things and work up. All right. Also work on communicating your boundaries, because this thing where you want someone else to feel and figure it out, and then they don't, and then you have the right to attack them and push away the situation, right? Stopping those sabotaging. So just focus on catching yourself when you notice when you're going in there, and then changing your mind about that decision. Again, it can be a lot to take on our whole entire habit and process. So they're saying start small, catch yourself, and change your opinion or the reaction that you are going to have. And so that's the message for now, okay? So I hope that resonated. Again, like I told number one, we'll hug it out in the comments. I know this is a little tough love, but I think that you guys are worth it to the goddesses, that they come in and they want to give you this so that you can be in a place where you can receive a whole lot more love. All right. So let me know how you feel, and I'll talk to you soon. Yay, it didn't cut off this time. It keeps cutting off. I'm like, come on now. Let's see, number 3, those of you that chose Lady Guadalupe, Virgin of Guadalupe, we have, let's see what we have over here. Oop. We have Mary Magdalene, we have Seshat, negation. So this is a no card. They have 3 confirmation cards to confirm an answer. This is a no. So if you're asking a specific question, you're saying no. We have Maya, illusion. Excuse me. Sorry. We have the 3 of Cups. Good. That's good. We have the World card. Okay. We have the 5 of Cups, the 10 of Swords, and the 10 of Wands reversed. Okay. So, I see that you guys are very loving and caring people, extremely dedicated, very, very caring and dedicated. I'm seeing Capricorns and Cancers, and all water signs actually are here. I'm seeing some Libras and Virgos, and maybe some Leos. And so this energy here is where you really care about the people that are around you. Like, you'll do their to-do list, you'll try to organize their life and help them get on track. You are like 100% like wanting your friend's success. You sacrifice things, but the thing is you lose yourself in the process. Okay, so we have identity here, and this veil, like part of you feels like you're trapped behind the veil, and then you have sadness. And I think that it's not that you don't want people to be successful. It's not that you're trying to be negatively jealous. I think that your heart is very pure in that way, but you just feel like when is your turn, basically, and you feel like you're, you know, getting these no's and not really sure how to put yourself out there or balance what you do for others with getting success for yourself. You know, feeling cut off and getting to the point that you're so overburdened, and then you might even like cut off the person, or like and stop the relationship, because after so long and you don't put your boundaries and things, and you don't know how to be yourself when you're around certain people, you feel like you're overshadowed. And then after a certain a point you just like shut down or like totally cut that person off or phase them out of your life, and then you feel sad because you're like, oh, like, you know, trying to figure out, what does this mean, what am I doing wrong? I feel like a lot of questions, like, am I a bad person, am I not a bad person? You might feel very bad about it and be like, well, I'm still trying to pray for them, and just not know. Some of you are Sagittarians, I'm getting that too, not know how to work it out, and then you might end up, you know, friending them again on Facebook or messaging later, and it's like this weird cycle. Some of you might be named Mary or Maya as well, both names which are relating to ocean water and the water. So with this, I'm also seeing Sasha. We have Sashat. So the message here is, how do we find your own identity while still being loving and supporting of others? I do feel like a lot of your friends are pretty supportive too, and that might be the tough thing, is because you're like, okay, even when I'm around people, I just can't seem to combat like that shine and find my own place. And that the answer is, well, one, we don't all shine the same. Okay, like you can even look at astrology. A Pisces sun and a Leo sun do not shine the same and feel fulfilled with the same type of attention. It's different shades, right? Different strokes for different folks. There's also the fact that some of you have sun in the 12th house, but it's conjunct your ascendant, and I know that's very specific, but this is what this is the energy I see with those clients. So there's like this water energy, but then there's fire. So you naturally are like, you don't have the ego necessarily that you have to be out in front and get all the attention, but it's like you don't want to just be walked over and not even recognized, and people don't even remember you were at the party and stuff like that. And you guys might feel like if you just connect with someone who's more powerful, then you can be in a power couple and you'll be recognized. Like there is some codependency in this, and feeling like you have to find that other counterpart so that you are strong enough to be respected or loved, or just trying to find someone who will recognize that in you. And they're saying this is an illusion. You know, there are people that support you and love you, but even then, it's a matter of, how much do you really want to be seen? Like, do you want to be the model, or do you want to be the photographer? Do you want to go back and forth? Is there a way that you can put your work out there and get your attention? I feel like some of you might even be like ghostwriters, like you don't get credit for the work that you do. You might be behind the scenes stagehands, or I am getting an artistic feel for a lot of you, or you might be like, I don't know, it's like your employer, or, you know, might get like a lot of credit and attention, but a lot of that is like from you and what you channel and your creative insight and your wit and your smarts, but you take care of it all and you're overlooked a lot. You also might have Neptune in your 10th house, because that happens with them. It can also sometimes happen with Moon in the 10th house, but usually they end up getting attention because there's like a lot of attractive energy. But so you're just feeling tapped out. Yeah, actually, yeah, some of you literally have Moon in the 10th house. You might have it in the 9th conjunct the 10th. How crazy is that? So this is feeling tapped out because you don't know how to draw in solar energy. Now, in a personal way, this could be learning to work on what they call the masculine energy, the active energy, the solar energy within yourself. A lot of these decks, and I think in a lot of the card pulls for this one, if I remember correctly, have feminine solar deities. So it's just saying, like, it's not expected, right? It might be unexpected for you to get certain attention that you want. Now, that doesn't mean you never have attention. It's just that it doesn't lead to the places that you want. You might get negative attention that you don't like. It might come at weird times. And again, it doesn't fit your identity with yourself. So they're like, I'm literally saying for you to write a list. They want you to write it down and communicate with yourself. What do you like? What do you feel identifies you? What are your keywords? This is very powerful, actually. You can even do it by your astrology. Like, right, okay, I have Sun in Cancer. What are my identification points that resonate with that? Or you can do it without astrology. How do you identify yourself? What are your keywords? Think of descriptive words, which, you can think of like, how would you describe genres of music or art if you look at yourself in those ways? Which adjectives are your vibe, your aesthetic, truly inside, not what you want to put, not the illusion. And that's the thing. Some of you are putting a different image out than how you feel inside. And so you just never feel like it's authentic, that people see you, but they're trying to. Okay, so it's like really hone in working on that so that you can be seen for who you truly are and no longer hidden, to consciously start thinking about that. And then they want you to communicate from that part of you. They want you to respond and react from that part of you. They want you to represent yourself from that part of you. No more hiding your true identity. Now, I'm not telling anybody, literally, there could be some people that need to come out of the closet, whether that's the spiritual closet, whether that is a gender identification, or I lost what I was going to say there, but whatever that is for you, that is private, that you need to be like, this is who I am. Some of you, it could be, I'm seeing, like I said, I've seen creative people. It's the fact that you don't want to be a backup singer. You want to be the lead singer, and you're just very, very shy, and or don't know how to go about in doing that, and you back down on yourself and step back. So they're like, no, you have the wits, you have the creative talent, you have a good heart, you deserve to have loving relationships where you are supported. If you are in between relationships now, they are saying again that there has been some contribution sometimes from you as well with kind of ending your relationships. But they're saying no more grief about that. No more worrying about past relationships. Don't hang on to them anymore. You could even just write a letter and not send it, and kind of, you know, burn it or let it go, because there is the no here. So I don't feel like actually contacting the person if you were asking that. But you can do it for yourself and then release it. And then step into this empowerment here. Own that empowerment. And you see, it's not a live one, it's a skin, which means she can put it on when she wants to. And that's the thing, is learning how that's what really big artists, they learn how to do, a lot of them, is when they want to put on their fame or their whatever, and when they need to take a break. The ones who don't learn that, they end up like Britney Spears, whatever, they burn themselves out. You have to know when you want to turn on, when you want to turn off, but do it wholly, you know, without splitting yourself and being many things to many different people, which I see has been going on. No more illusions. All right, no more illusions. Some of you, I feel like you don't even fully look in the mirror to yourself. It's almost like if someone asked you to describe yourself to like a face recognition drawer, that you wouldn't even get your face all the way accurate, because you don't even like truly see yourself the way that others see you. You might see a picture of you and be like, that's me, what? You know, so it's like about truly seeing yourself now, cultivating your image to match what is fitting internally, being honest with that to other people as much as you can. Again, I won't rush your journey on that, but to be working towards that, and then allowing others to love you and accept you, and allowing yourself to be loved by the universe for who you are, and to allow yourself to be successful and succeed and be seen. Okay, so I hope this helped you. You know, it's like, let go of those burdens, whatever baggage you're carrying that you're worried about this identity. Just allow yourself to be a lot more free when it comes to that. Okay, so comment down below how you're feeling, what you think, and I will talk to you soon. Oh, she's done. She said mic drop. I'm done. Okay. All right, and we're still recording. Good. All right, for those of you who chose number 4, we have Auset. I'm not sure how to set her up. Let's see if we can do it like that. All right, let's see what you got. We have Lakshmi Abundance. She's so badass. I always love her tummy that's out. She's so, and look at her hair. She's so wonderful. I love Lakshmi. She has such a sweet energy. Let's see, we have Amphitrite, Mermaid vibe. So I'm getting Taurus and Leo and Libra and Pisces so far. We have Judgment, 3 of Swords reversed, the Lovers, the 10 of Cups reversed. We have, what is this, 4 of Swords reversed. Oh my gosh, you guys, how many readings have we gotten the 4 of Swords reversed? I think every pick a card I've done lately has at least one pile that has 4 of Swords reversed. We have 6 of Wands reversed. Is that, oh sorry, 9 of Wands reversed. They do them weird on that card, so it's hard to tell sometimes. We have Hathor. We got a lot of cards. Oh, we got a lot of cards. Durga, boundaries. A lot of the readings talked about boundaries today. Nukua, order. Freya, sexuality. Again, she's coming up. She's been around a lot lately as well. Sheila Nagik with opening. Oh, two more. Oh my goodness. Another Lakshmi. What? You guys about to level up financially, okay? And Lakshmi doesn't play. When she says she's coming through, she come through, okay? Stop worrying. Everything is going to be fine. Oh, that just made my heart feel good. And Pele, divine passion. Be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire? And Hathor's message was, allow yourself to receive. This will increase your intuition, energy, and ability to give to others as well. Because you guys have been tapped out. You've been so tapped out. Look, you've been tapped out, like tapped into a coffin. Oh my gosh. You guys have just been like, you don't have anything to give to the family or the kids anymore. You're just exhausted. You've been so exhausted. You went through a really bad breakup, a lot of you, or a very bad separation. Some of you have been where you come very close to relationships, or you feel the connections with others and it doesn't come through. Some of you, I think that your soulmate transitioned and actually passed away, and it was, you know, before everything that was supposed to happen with you guys was supposed to happen. Some of you might have had the chance to meet them in this lifetime and experience them, but some of them, they passed away before that came about, and so there's been a lot to deal with because of that. And that could be why there's some like low-key in certain ways kind of like abandonment issues, or just feeling like not trusting, is because your soul knows that that was supposed to happen and it didn't come through. And this is something that I see happening. I'm gonna just give you guys a full view. Look at that though, that's beautiful. All of these goddesses. All right, so your spirit guides are coming in from the top and saying, okay, we're trying to help you get things back in order. Like, it's been crazy. It's almost like a representative's coming down and being like, okay, look, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Things been crazy up here. It's been crazy. Like, but we're trying to, like, we're handling it. My guy's on it. My goddesses are on it, and we are trying to take care of you and catch you back, because you've been slipping through the cracks here on love and on money. We know you have. We know. We understand. And they're like, but stay strong with your willpower and your passion. Keep claiming it, keep demanding it, keep banging on, you know, they say knocking on heaven's door, keep expecting it, because we are trying to get these things open for you. We're trying to you know, pour back into you here. And we have this, her pouring, you know, she pours in the money here. We have it here. And we have here, she has her breast milk. Oops, sorry, friend. It was like, woo, we're all into friend. Yes, so it's coming, it's coming. So we have the Judgment, Three of Swords reversed, and the Lovers, with the Ten of Cups reversed, and the, yes. So, basically, there's been a recalibration of plans. For those of you who have had to end cosmic connections and relationships, you're not like spiritually in trouble or anything like that. I think maybe you've been concerned about that. Those of you who didn't go through with a relationship and then the person passed, you might have worries about that. There's just a lot of seriousness around that. And so they're just coming in to acknowledge that and to say that you're going to have other opportunities and things, and to not let that discourage you from the loving relationship that you're going to have here with the Lovers. There is going to be love after heartbreak. Some of you need to know that it is okay to go ahead and remarry or get into a loving relationship after you've lost somebody, or after someone's passed away that you cared about. It could have even been a parent or a grandparent, and maybe that's hard for you, and they are letting you know that is okay. Follow your passion, be strong-willed, go after what you want. You have a bright future, right? You have a bright future. Go ahead and do these things. I also see some of you are a little bit concerned about childbirth. Maybe you have that has been your loss before and it hasn't synced up yet, but they are encouraging you to move forward, embrace your body, trust what your body's able to do. Some of you are already pregnant and are worried about the whole transition, and you're worried about breastfeeding. I totally relate. Just had my first child, and they are supporting you and saying, you know, we got you. Like, keep moving forward, know what you want, get into your own flow, and keep, again, knocking on those doors until they open, and you, like, these blessings like pour out. Like, look at those doors opening, and you are terrified that you're going to get this bad judgment and that maybe you're not as deserving as others, and instead you just boom, boom, boom. I feel like a lot of you guys are going to, if you pick this reading, you are about to really break into amazing sexual health in your life, amazing nurturing and connection with, you know, children or loved ones, beautiful, divine, passionate, romantic relationships, and like money busting up everywhere coming in. Like gangbusters. Boom, boom, boom. Can I give you some money? Boom, boom, boom. Can I pay you a check? You're like, okay. Come on in then. Right? It does. This literally, I feel an apology. Like, I feel like an apology from the spiritual world. Like, you know, there's been things that weren't foreseen. And see, this is what happens. We can go, you know, we can go out our minds and create a negative karma line. Like if I suddenly went crazy and okay, I don't want to use myself because it's on the video, but let's say, you know, there's a person named Fred, and Fred goes crazy and they go and they harm somebody seriously. And like they, you know, they were on their path, they were ascending, and then they were like, oh, you know what, I have free will, I'm just gonna go like take that person out. And they go and do that. Well, that person, like, you can go and meet new souls. You can go and suddenly put karmic energy where it didn't exist before and create negative situations. And I feel like some of you have had that interrupt into your life. It wasn't something that was planned or expected. You have had unexpected things happen that were not okay. They weren't part of the plan. So, you know, you might get very upset when people say, oh, well, it was meant to happen, or, oh, you knew that was going to happen before you came into this life. No, some of the things you didn't. They weren't a part of the plan. They threw things off. And Spirit's been scrambling, trying to heal it and set things up for you. So I see things coming in. I'm seeing receive them. Some of you might feel guilty if you're getting, and this is very specific, but I feel somebody feeling guilty if they're getting like insurance or an inheritance from someone who passed away. They're saying, please receive it. It's okay. Everything's in order spiritually. Please receive it. They're trying to protect you and provide for you. Please receive it. All right. Yes, receive their blessings onto your life. And you don't have to, basically, you don't have to die because someone that you love died early. You don't have to be in pain and trauma because others are in pain. It's like you're a feeling person, that's good, but you don't have to sacrifice the entire rest of your life because bad things happened and because you've been through horrible things. They don't want that for you. Those times were then, and they really, really want, you know, some of you have lost family, or you had, again, very tough upbringings and things, very severe relationship issues. Maybe some of you it was chronic health and surgeries, and it's like, no, we want you to flower, we want you to blossom, right? And there's Auset. Oh, and you know what is Auset, aka Isis? What did she do? She went and put back Osiris after all of that pain, and is faithful, and she's loving and raises him up to a new level, you know, just determined and beautiful. She reminds me of Nina Simone right there. So you have allies, you have like Pele. Pele can destroy everything and then create the most abundant, glorious life, you know. And right above her we have the islands and the mermaids there. Like, you guys have so much ahead, and if you are feeling like life can't change and you're at that rock bottom right now, this is that message for you. It gets better, right? This is the semicolon, not the period. I'm feeling very choked up right now. And I relate to you. I am you. I've been in those positions, and it's saying you have so much beauty to see. You have so much love to receive and give. You have so much abundance that really and truly wants to come into your life. So please don't lose hope. And just keep trusting that you're being taken care of, and keep being stubborn and dynamic, and knowing you deserve to know your rights. Know that you deserve to beat on any door that's closed until you get the help and the love and the aid that you need. And you are so, so loved and supported, and like, this is glorious. You're very, very helped and cared about, and it was very important that you knew that right now, and that you know that these good things are coming to you. So I hope that helped. I'm so grateful to pass these messages along to you guys. Let me know how you feel down in the comments, and I will talk to you soon.